A $30 million e-com brand recently came to us with 42 employees, $3.2 million of annual payroll, and a bunch of tools that nobody actually used. And when we talked to the founder, he thought that becoming AI enabled meant hiring a head of AI, bringing in 3 engineers, and rebuilding their entire tech stack. But within just 30 days, we were able to come in as a fractional AI growth partner. And over the past 6 months of working together, we have been able to cut down $120,000 of annual payroll costs, along with a 38% operational throughput lift and over 400 hours saved in the last 6 months alone. If you don't know me, my name is Chris West, and for the past 3 years, I've been installing in-house AI departments for hundreds of 7, 8, and 9-figure business owners. I want to show you how the top operators are doing it in 2026 so that by the end of this video, you know the exact steps you can take to actually becoming AI enabled. So this is how $10 million businesses are becoming AI enabled in 30 days. And in this video, I want to walk you through the entire process and how you can start going about it. So number one, you start with a basic org chart, right? This is a CEO. Maybe you have a CMO. Maybe you have a head of sales or sales director. You have a COO that you work with. Maybe you have a CSM, HR, and finance, right? These are the basic roles that a org chart might look like. How can we take this and fundamentally become AI enabled? In 2026, you do not need engineers to do 90% of the work that a $10 million business needs. What you need is these 3 things to actually start building it out yourself. So in order to take all of this, you need, number one, someone with high agency that is actually able to identify the problems within your business, what is actually holding you back, and how you can practically solve them. Number 2 is you need a company database. This is a source of truth. This is where all of your tools, your tech stack, they all go into one place. And this is how you're able to spin AI agents off of the back of them so that your AI agents are taking data-driven actions. As I've said multiple times over, the reason that AI is so good is because number 1, you can install it within 30 days versus if you bring in A+ talent, number 1, they're going to cost you at least over $1 million a year if they are actual A+ talent. And number 2, you still have to go through the onboarding. They don't know your business. You have to help them train on all of your stuff and then be able to put in their zone of genius. With AI, they are just a pattern matching machine. So you can take the data that you currently have, what has already scaled you to the number that you're at, and just double down on what has worked for you, and then use AI to actually do the button clicking. So you are still a human and the business is still ran by the CEO. And that's the biggest mistake, is that AI is not going to run your business for you. It just won't. But what it can do is it can free up that 80% of admin and stuff that you're doing that is not growing the business and turn it on its head so that 20% of it is admin and that 80% is the needle moving things that the CEO needs to do. So the third thing that needs to take place is you need to install and train, right? The same as you would an employee, except now you're using AI, and training is putting docs in, connecting to tools, and putting everything into one place. So what we have is a business, and we have the 3 steps that we need to take. How can we practically go about this, and how can we actually do this in a way where it's effective, right? A lot of companies we work with are honestly coming to us after they have already tried. So if you have already tried installing AI and you've realized that it's doing more mess than it is actually good, you can have all of this completely done for you if you want to click the link down below if you're doing over $1 million per year. But with that being said, is a lot of people try to do too many things at once. So you want to look across your entire business. Now, is this the CEO? Is this someone else within the company? It really depends on your size and the amount of team you have. Typically, the CEO knows the company best, or the founder knows the company best. So you want to identify the top things that are actually going to drive revenue. What is actually going to make us more money? Because what a lot of people like to do is they like to look across all of these departments and like to say, hey, let's just automate HR. Let's automate finance. Let's automate bookkeeping. Let's automate our content. Let's automate all of these things at once, and they get a bunch of half-ass built things. So you want to identify what is going to actually make us money. Now, what we found, and typically the first things that we're able to install, is obviously number 1, marketing, number 2, sales, and number 3 is finance, because these are really the things that run a business. It is marketing, sales, and are we making money or are we not making money? If you're watching this video, you already know that. What I'm trying to get across here is if we are able to pull all of our marketing data, right? This is all of our ads, our content, content, absolutely everything scraped, all feeding into our database that we talked about. We can then use that to then get our sales calls. We can get our sales calls and we can connect to our CRM, right? Those are typically the first things that are very easy to connect to and work on and feed it into this company database. Finance. Can we look at all of the numbers month over month, and are we able to see this month we went up, this month we went down, and this month we went stagnant? Let's look at all of the numbers across these three and identify, feeding back into our marketing and sales, what did we do on this green month in our marketing and on our sales calls, connect to our Stripe or whatever we use as a POS, and can we look at where were they coming from? What ads were they coming from? What were they saying on our sales calls so that we can identify, oh nice, this campaign, whatever, 30 really drove this number up, right? So now we're gonna look at every single ad within this. We're gonna look at every single sales call that came from that ad of people only that bought, right? A lot of people will take AI and they'll scrape all of their sales calls, right? Maybe they use Fireflies, maybe they use Granola, whatever they use for their sales calls is they wanna go in and they wanna scrape all of their sales calls versus being able to track it back directly from the ad that they came from, connected to our finance, to our QuickBooks, to our POS, and we can look at the ads that worked, the sales calls that we had, filter out only the people that actually bought from us in order to simply create more of those ads. What we want to do is we want to take one process. We want to take one process at a time. If we can solve this in 30 days and every single week, month, day, whatever it looks like, the CMO is getting ads that he knows are performing and he can see all of his numbers and he can say that this campaign is about to die and an agent can let him know and he can choose to shut it off or turn it up, or this campaign is doing very well, this ad set is doing really well, can we turn it up or turn it down? We have just now taken one of the most important part of the businesses and freed him up, and then you move down the line. Now can we look at sales? Can we look at how we are tracking all of our sales reps, how we are paying out all of our sales reps? Can we identify who is following the script, who is not following the script, who do we need to cut, who do we need to train, and what do we need to train them on? And it's moving along this line. If you don't know what the constraint is, how can you solve for it? So that's where, and the reason that we come in and we audit everything, because honestly, a lot of the time, the reason that you have mentors, the reason that you have people in your life that you tell are external, think about a therapist, right? If it was so easy to identify yourself, no matter how big your business is, no matter how successful you've been in the past, there's a reason that people have mentors, they have therapists, is because when some of the people that we are hopping on calls with are telling us some of the problems that they're having, it's a simple fix. And sometimes it's not even AI that's gonna fix it. Just simply telling someone and having someone walk through your entire business. We say, hey, what is this person doing on the customer success team? You have 10 people on customer success. What is this specific person actually doing? And you say, well, shit, they're not doing anything. And that's, sometimes we have to hop on calls and we have to cut people, right? Which is good and bad. Unfortunate, but that's the reality of it, right? Everyone has access to the same information and that's on them. Point being is that if you don't know what the problem is and you don't know how to solve for it, then you can't accomplish this. With that, how can we cut down that one thing, right? So what I want you to do in your practical steps for this video is, number one, understand that you are not going to automate everything within your company. What I do want you to understand is how to actually go about it. And really, it's just these three things. You need someone with agency and tech knowledge and someone that knows how to use these different tools. You need a company database and you need to install and train. Now, practically, what does it look like to install an actual AI employee, right? Most of the time, it's in the back end, right? It's just a workflow that happens. You're turning your SOPs, you're turning these things into agents with the real goal of not firing everybody in your company. So all of these SOPs become agents. Now, these SOPs used to go to humans. Now we are turning these SOP, these are human tasks, we are turning them into robot automated tasks to then pass down deliverables to an A+ human. So that now this A+ human has a team of AI agents underneath him versus him having humans underneath him and giving him problems, right? This is your top guy. This is your CEO, your CMO. That's why we typically work from the top down, is because we're able to identify what problems are people coming to you with, what are the deliverables that they're giving you, and where are they getting those deliverables? Is it coming from their head because they've been on the team so long, or is it coming directly from an SOP? Because if it's coming from a direct SOP, it can be automated, right? 10, 9, whatever, 9 out of 10 times. And if it can't be automated, it becomes a workflow with a human in the loop, right? So what the org chart is now going to look like and what businesses that are doing these numbers in 2026 that are actually becoming AI enabled is the company looks a little something more like this, where you have your CEO, right? This is a human, and then you have your CMO, maybe your sales director, and your COO. And this is really what you need. You still do need humans, you still do need knowledge, but you can cut the $3.2 million of annual revenue. And I'm not even gonna say that you can drop it. Can you drop it? 100%. But what you would rather do is put killers in each one of these spots, spend the same amount, scale 10 times faster with this same exact overhead that you know is predictable, and then giving them a team of AI agents underneath them, giving them deliverables versus problems. So they all have AI agents across the board underneath them versus a bunch of humans that all feed back into what is our North Star, right? Where are we trying to go? And these agents are all trying to reach here, right? And they can act as an external source purely because they look at the numbers, right? So practically, how does this look? All it is taking your business and creating a company database, right? This is a folder structure. This is a code database, if that's what you want to call it. All it is taking all of your tools and your data, your API, whatever you use, whatever your tool stack currently is, pulling it all into one place and then spinning up agents off of that, right? Can be Claude Code, this can be Codex, this can be any AI LLM, but you want to create a file structure or a backend database that you can then spin agents off of that are specialized on those SOPs, on your business, on those numbers that can then take action underneath A+ talent. Now, if you want me and my team to come in as a fractional AI growth partner and do all of this completely done for you, you can book a call down below if you're doing over $1 million per year. What I want you to get from this video is that I just need you to get all of your data in one place. You need to know your numbers, you need to SOP absolutely everything, and you need to figure out what humans are doing. And then you can literally ask AI, how can I fix this? And you need to build out a company database, because that is going to be the foundation of every single company from now on. And until you do that, you're not going to have agents that work properly. You can say that you use Claude Code, you can say that you use Claude Cowork, Claude, whatever it is, but if you don't have a fundamentally strong company database that is feeding into everything, then you can't have agents that are spun off and actually taking data-driven actions, actually telling you, hey, the P&L is down this month. This is exactly how to fix it based off of previous months that have worked, looking across all of the departments. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you want to have all this handled for you, you can book a call down below. Otherwise, thank you.